Many transitions feel very unsettling. And the problem so many of us, me included, do is we're trying to look for answers. But transitions take time. But there's a powerful tool we can use in order to break free from this unsettling, and this is creativity. Um, Creating something, anything really. And this creative expression is one of the most powerful tools we can use to settle the nervous system back down. Welcome to Inner Earth School. As always, I'm joined by my co host and brother in crime, Adam. How are you today?
Morning, my German brother in arms. Great to be back, mate. Excited to talk about today's topic. Feeling good, feeling ready. The sun is out, and I'm feeling very.
Beautiful. Adam, as you know, I will get us started with a quote, and I think this one will land deep in the heart noggin. The longest journey you will ever take is the 18 inches from your head to your heart.
I wonder what you were going to say then. I thought we were going for an innuendo. Yeah, that's such a beautiful quote, brother. It really is that journey, isn't it? Shifting from this very logical, data-driven world that we're all surrounded in back to the world of intuition and feeling, and emotion. And it's not that one's wrong and the other one's right, it's that there's a lack of balance. And so it's finding that balance between the two. Um, and today, yeah, talking about creativity, that's what creativity can do, right? It helps us to connect with that heartfelt self and intuition. Lovely quote, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I find uh, for the longest time I thought being creative is out of my realm of capabilities, and I've always thought that being creative means that I have to be absolutely proficient at playing the guitar or draw like Picasso. But really creativity is the initiator to get into flow state out of your head and into your body, and even if it's through drawing something. And I wonder how you look at creativity, especially during a transition.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I think creative outlets are so valuable for bringing us into the present moment, for bringing us out of our looping of thinking that actually may not be serving us at all, and we perform something that is some form of creative expression. It creates space. It's like the purpose for doing it is the purpose itself. There's no, there's this joy that comes through from these creative outlets, and I think it's in that space that we get to kind of understand ourselves again, but we also just get to bring a sense of joy back into our living. I think that's what we do as human beings. It's built into our structure. We are creators. Um, that's what we're doing right here. We're just constantly creating and evolving, and we're all doing that in our lives consistently. But I think these specific creative outlets you're talking to, such as dancing, singing, writing, um, drawing, painting, or any of these outlets that you can tap into are super powerful because, like I said, they help you to connect with another side of yourself. And we use that specifically on one of the weeks in the Pathfinder program where we speak directly to creativity, connect with those creative outlets, and speak specifically to the lover archetype, which is very much um, connected to creation and communication and connection. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and um, we've mentioned it in a past episode, but transitions take time. There's no rule for it. The ending is here, then it takes 2 weeks to go through to the next one, and then the beginning comes. So in and by finding a creative outlet, you're not just rushing things. You're not just looking for the answers rationally, but you're allowing the process to unfold without, yeah, really giving too much weight and heaviness to that transition. It's already heavy enough for all of us, but then to find something of joy and something that's just fun really actually helps in the process to really find yourself again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, brother. I think it's like the moment you stop focusing on the thing you've been focusing on, the sort of answers appear for you. And creativity is the way of doing that. Putting your energy and focus into something that's playful, that's joyful, that that gets you moving again, gets maybe your mind moving, your body moving in a different way, enables you to put down what you've been overly focusing on, um, and also just gets you to remember what's sort of joyful in life, really. That it doesn't all have to be about healing and fixing and transforming. Um, and I think just yeah, in doing that, just changing that focus, you do then start to draw on, or you create space for new insights to sort of come in.
Yeah, the I what I love about any form of creative expression, and for as an example, you draw something, you draw a mountain range, and you refine what you're drawing. You get a bit more intricate with maybe a few trees, and the outline becomes better and better. So you improve on the question of what am I creating, what am I drawing, and over time, the more you get into the flow state, you realize or you learn more who is creating. So who is that person underneath all the labels, all the attachments that you had before. And I find this is such a beautiful process. And I wonder, especially you working with clients, how big is the importance to shift from what am I creating to who is creating?
Um, what am I creating to who is creating? I think partly what you're speaking there to is imagination, and I think that's what these creative pursuits enable you to do. They enable you to strengthen the muscle of imagination. And if you're and I believe that we can only create what we can imagine first, and I believe we can create anything if we can imagine it. And so I think the more we try and strengthen that imagination muscle, it enables us to think much bigger in terms of what's outside the box. Creating the life that you want to live. But what can you imagine first? What can you vision your life to be, or the changes you make? So I think that probably speaks to the who that is creating, and I think it's strengthening the imagination of the who that's creating helps you to create ultimately, in a much more expansive and expressive way. Well, that felt like a bit of a tongue twister, that that one, but yeah, I think that speaks to that, brother.
That's beautifully put. And um, it, the we can rationalize things and ask questions and try to find the answer to it, but in the end, it's just the pursuit of creativity allows us to find answers without asking the direct question. And I think this is really the point I'm trying to bring out there, that the whatever has ended is already unsettling enough. So now it's time to give a lighter version to life. So trying to figure out who you are right now and then who you want to be. And the creative outlet gives you this, yeah, like kids. My kids are 2 and 6. They do this all the time. They're just creative all day long. And this is how they experience their world.
Yeah, totally. I think that's beautiful, dude. I was going to say to you, what do you use specifically for creativity? What's your creative expression? How does that show up for you?
Hmm. It's the guitar that I'm desperately trying to learn, but it's the pursuit of of learning something new. And it's very hard for me because for a long time I had a a doctrine that I'm not musical, so it's difficult for to reprogram my core beliefs. But once I get into it, it brings me into a flow state. So this is one thing, and the other thing because I mentioned drawing mountain ranges, I love drawing mountain ranges because they have something symmetrical about it, but then adding a bit more creative nuances into it. And I start after 5 minutes, I'm completely absorbed in the pursuit of this creative expression. How about you?
It's beautiful, brother. Um, first one, very similar to you actually. Always told myself that I wasn't a musical person. Always loved music, but in terms of playing an instrument, found it hard to sort of stick with anything. So I got myself I got a Native American flute made for me by shout out to Red Kite Flutes, I think they're called in the UK. And I've had that for a couple of years. Again, I've picked it up and put it down, but it's on my ever increasing to do list to pick back up again. It's sat in the corner there, and so maybe we can do a jam one day. But that brings me joy when I do pick it up. Yeah, for sure. I can feel that flow state, and for me, writing is my what brings me into my sort of creative expression. I kind of see it almost sculpting with words, um, and I guess most artists, people who speak to the creative process, might share this in that it's not always something I feel that can be forced. It's something that kind of flows through you at the right time. Um, on the
Mm.
flip side of that, I think the more you do sit down and the more you do, what was it? Stephen Pressfield spoke about the muse, um, in his
The war of art.
the war of art. That's it. Yeah, and I think the more times that you do actually sit down and consult with the muse and attempt to connect with it, I think the stronger that flow state, that channel of communication becomes, and the more open it tends to be. Um, so I think that the more often we do anything, the better we get at it. I think it's so true. It's one of the laws, isn't it? Really, of the universe and of human life. I think.
Yeah, I think with what you said there, I tend to disagree, but then you kind of equalize your own point, which is nice. But I think creativity requires courage, right? But also there is an element of discipline to it. If you just wait for the muse to show up, you never allow yourself to enter the creative process. So with discipline, I mean, okay, now let's forget everything else. I put the phone away. I'm not scrolling on Instagram or YouTube, but I put a piece of paper in front of me, and I'll, in your case, you start writing, or you start drawing, or you pick up the guitar and just pluck a few notes, and then let this develop into a little bit more and a little bit more. So yeah, I guess the courage speaks to both the um, kind of presenting whatever you have created to others, because I think it's an important part to share. That takes courage, but also courage to allow yourself to take the time.
Yeah, yeah. I I agree. I concur with that. Um, I do feel that
Good.
though there's always times where the flow is stronger than others. When I've
Mm.
written books,
Mm.
there's been days I would set myself a non-negotiable task of like for every day I would sit down and I would write for half an hour before anything else, and that's what I had to do. That was my non-negotiable. And some days I would sit there for half an hour and stare at the screen and maybe write two sentences. Um, and other days I would sit there maybe for an hour or 2 hours because it was just flowing through me and I'd write a couple of thousand words. Um, but either way, I knew that I was showing up, and I knew that either way,
Mm.
I was chipping away each day. That half an hour was this sort of sacred time, and so it felt like even if I did just write those 2 sentences, I was moving closer towards my goal. So yeah, I think the muse sometimes shows up in a powerful, forceful, divine way, and other times a frustrating and slow moving way.
Well, agree. Beautifully said. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. And I don't have a quote today, really, to play us out with. I think just I'd like to, I guess, reiterate.
Ah, shall I give
I
you one?
Well, sure, go for it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one.
Of course.
Be patient towards all that is unresolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves.
Love that. That's beautiful. I'm not going to add to
Mm,
that. I'm just going to leave that there for everyone. Thanks, brother.
leave it there. Thank you, Adam. It was again a beautiful conversation. Thank you for your time, your wisdom. Thank you all for watching. It means the world for us that you stopped by. In the show notes, you find all the information. Of course, there's much more to read at our website, innerearth.co.uk. Leave a comment and share with us how you feel or how you get inspired to be creative. What is your creative expression? Like and subscribe. I hate to ask, but it would mean the world to us. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Adam, any last words?
Great conversation today, brother. Loved that. And I am loving this creative process with you. So thank you. And thanks to all the inner earthlings tuning in to listen to us. We do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.